Welcome to the YouTube channel. If you'd like Leeds United content dropped into your notifications every few days, why not hit the subscribe and the bell? And if you are a Leicester fan, you can, Beyond the 90. Why don't you subscribe to Neel? Because he's an all right, he's a nice guy. Okay, this is the Leicester versus Leeds United preview, and we go again. The following podcast contains some strong language and some very average opinions. Any references to actual people are wildly inaccurate. It's probably best if you don't listen at all. The Roaring Peacock Podcast. Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock Podcast. This is the match preview of Leicester City versus Leeds United. My name is Adonis. You know me as the Adelites on Twitter. It's a very good hello from me. And joining us for this match preview is our chairman of the board, Wiggy.
Good evening.
And the stranger in our midst, Neel from Beyond the 90, the Leicester City. How do you say? Fan channel podcast?
We're just Beyond the 90, can't even pronounce properly. Beyond the 90 LCFC. So we just a few fans talking about football on Leicester's end. So kind of similar thing to what you guys do on their end. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, Neel. So last time we had you on, you were telling us about how you weren't sure if Vardy was going to play. You had basically nobody at the back. You told me that Wes Morgan was going to be playing with his crutches, and it didn't make the slightest bit of difference because you won 4-1, you bastards.
Yeah, I wasn't confident going into that match, to be honest. And I remember, quote unquote, from yours was, it's Premier League's a piece of piss, isn't it? And I think so. We're feeling very different coming into this match. We're really confident about it. I was a bit scared of Leeds, but obviously the way your foreman has been, I think, even against the Newcastle match, which I don't want to mention too much, because I've seen how much that can be a trigger for you, for Adonis especially. So, but yeah, it's been anything but at the moment. We had a lot of injuries at the time. Pretty much half the first team were out with some kind of awful injury, but they've all recovered now, which you'll be really glad to hear, because literally about this for the preview we did last time, it was completely the opposite.
Wiggy? What were your thoughts on that Leicester game?
Well, I think Leicester definitely deserves to win. I think going into it, we all had high expectations of a great game, and I thought Leeds would hopefully give them a game, and it just didn't turn out that way. I think Leicester's game planning, that was exactly what I would have expected, which was them to run and run and run at us, and they did, and they kept us wide open, and I think the saving grace for Sunday is that Vardy is injured, and
yes,
and so that gives me half a chance that we might get something from it. That's my.
I'd also like to
of Sunday.
I'd like to disagree with you there, Neel, because in the match preview of the last game, we were scared shitless of Leicester, because all the teams who sit back and defend and hit us on the counter, they're the ones that give us the most trouble. And I honestly, I was not. I never do these predictions. Alex did it last time, and he predicted 2-1. But we're on a really good run of form. I think we'd just beaten Villa 3-0 away, and they were flying. They'd beaten Liverpool 7-2 just previously. So, and you predicted 1-1. I was very scared going into that game, and all of my fears came to fruition, as you fucking dick does.
The whole reason why they played well was just to piss you off. You do know that. That's the entire reason why. But yeah, it was a good performance from us again. But just the way that you guys press and the intensity it was such a hard match to cling on. And yes, we do counterattack, and it's something that obviously we're known for in 2016 when we won the league, which I think we talked about last time, is still, for Leicester fans, is like unbelievable. But we've changed our formation, we've changed the way we play. But against Leeds, I mean, from what we've seen recently as well, it's kind of, you don't really have a plan B. So if it's not working, do it again, but do it better. And we can absorb that pressure. So of recent, if you look at Everton, for example, we were smashing them in possession. Surprisingly, they sat back and were trying to hit us on the counter. And we ended up with a 1-1 draw because Everton are a really good team. But yeah, so we have changed the way we play. However, I think in future, in this game, you're going to see that. But I've not seen it in a long time from Leicester, the counter-attacking football. I think it might have been last year even. I think like December time against Man United.
It's one of them. I'm sure a lot of fans are the same across the football league and the Premier League, is that you've just got a real soft spot for Leicester in the way they go about the game, and they're really well organised, and they've got a fantastic manager and a great structure. And only recently our chairman actually this week was like, we're trying to emulate what Leicester have done, and you can completely see why. Like, it's a formula for success that is working for you, and it's great to see a new team up there fighting with the top six. I think it's great. Since
that game, then, where you won 4-1, you've been doing all right, haven't you? You're third in the league now, I've seen. Is it 3 points off the top? Does that mean if you beat us and results go our way, you could be top of the league?
It means we could be ahead of Scum, and that's what you guys want, to be honest. So it's going to be a double-edged sword.
Well, that'll be the consolation, and that I will take when we get fucked on Sunday by you.
Do you think that's what's happening, Donny? Do you think we're going to get fucked on Sunday
by Leicester in the game? Yeah. Yes, I don't make predictions, but I'm very, very scared. We haven't played well in 2021. In fact, it's been a long time since I felt like we had a great game of football. It was probably before Chelsea. It was probably Everton away. I thought we played a very difficult to beat side, and we played them at their ground, and we did really well. And then since then, we've lost to Chelsea, West Ham, Newcastle, Scum, and we've beaten a few teams that don't get me wrong. We played well against Newcastle, beat them 5-2. We played well against West Brom, beat them 5-0. But Newcastle and West Brom are not very good, to say the least. So, yeah, I'm a bit worried.
Yeah, I think it's a concern, isn't it? We've not played well, as you say, for a while. And I think on against Newcastle the other day, we showed a different side in terms of grinding it out and getting a result when we needed to. We had to beat Newcastle, or they're the teams you want to beat and we need to beat in this season to make sure that we stay up and we're in the Premier League next year. And I think Leicester is a concern for me as well. I think they're a great team, as I've said. I've got loads of respect for them, but we've got to, one of these games, turn it round and get back to the way we were playing. So why not against Leicester on Sunday? Hopefully the lads will be up for it, and it'll be a real open game. And if we can get into it quickly and early, then you've got to hope that we can hit the ground running.
Is that where you're looking? Are you looking down rather than up at the moment? Because I know you're not on a bad run of form, but it's surprising that you're mentioning relegation at the moment.
We've got 4 games that we need to win, and we play 4 teams that are below us, I think, or that are winnable, that we need to beat. So I think we play Sheffield United. I think we play West Brom. I think we have to play Fulham again.
Yep.
And there's another one.
We've got to play Burnley again.
Yeah, Burnley. There you go. So they're the 4 games that are winnable. In April, I think we've got. I think it's a nightmare run. I think we play the Scum, we play Chelsea, we play City, something like that. It's all in the space of a few weeks. So we've got very difficult teams coming up, and we are not playing well. I know that Wiggy has said we ground out a result at St James's Park. I don't think we did. I think we got extremely lucky. I think if they could have shot on target, we'd be in trouble. They had 22 shots and they were running through our midfield like it wasn't there. So,
but I think, and we're definitely not here to rerun on the Newcastle game. But I think the chances they did have were ones that we created for them by us being sloppy. I think in answer to your question, Neil, no, I'm not looking at relegation. I think I'm definitely looking up. But I think being realistic, where we are now is where we will be happy to end up. I definitely do not think we will get relegated. There is too many teams in this league that are dross and are definitely dropping out of the league. We're not one of them. But I think, to Donny's point, you've got to be realistic. We've got a tough set of games coming up. Everton, the one after, and it's going to be tough the next few weeks. And I think you look at it and you say, I'd take 4 points or 6 points, or like, you've got to be realistic. And I'm realistic about Sunday that I'd take a point all day long if someone offered me it now.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, so coming up, we've got Leicester, we've got Everton, we've got Palace. So you guys beat us 4-1, Palace beat us 4-1. Everton have turned their form around and are flying now. Arsenal turned their form around and are flying now. Wolves, always difficult. Villa, we caught them on a bad day, I think. If we catch them on a good day, like the day they beat Liverpool 7-2, I think we'll be in trouble. West Ham, looking great as well. Souček and Antonio are on form for them. Chelsea absolutely dicked us. And I don't see that changing. Fulham, we only beat Fulham 4-3. So we were all over them. Then we let them back into it with the kind of form that we've been showing in recent weeks. Sheffield United have just beaten scum. Man City again. They had the first 20 minutes of that game, they could have been 5-0 up if they'd have taken their chances. Liverpool, scum. Brighton beat us and looked good doing it. Spurs, so, and then it's Burnley, Southampton, West Brom. So we finished the season with 3 arguably winnable games, and I think we've probably already done enough. But I look at those fixtures, and if we can't find the kind of form that we had at the start of the season, then I'm really worried. So that was the very long road to answering Neil's arguably simple question. So Neel, question for you then: how's Leicester going? How have you been going since we played you? And are you title contenders?
It's a weird one because I don't want to say we are, but at the same time we've been there in 2016, so anything is not going to be as ridiculous what happened in 2016. So there's this kind of juxtaposition that I'm playing myself in, because we want to go under the radar. We were in a similar position this time last year where we were towards the top of the table, and then because we had a young squad that wasn't really firing, and certain players got injured and the manager didn't get his tactics right, a little bit of everything. We just went straight down, and we were 13 points clear of Chelsea. And then by the end of it, I think we ended up in 5th position, and it came down to the last day against Man United. So it is what it is. It was probably better for us to be in the Europa League anyway, because being in tier 4 of the Champions League, we would have got torn apart, to be honest, with the teams would have got. So in terms of the league, I think it would be silly not to say we're title contenders, but I love the position we're in, because players like Liverpool, Man United, Man City, they're all got top quality Man United, but they've all got top quality teams and managers and so on. Let them have the limelight. Let them see what happens, because if we fall off, we still look all right. It's not going to be like what's happened to Leicester. Leicester are just doing our business and going about it in a good way. However, title contenders, I don't really want to say. Give you, when we're about a month away from the end of the season, I'll give you a prediction. But until then, it's one of those things where I don't want to guarantee anything. But I'm very happy to be in the top 4 for sure.
Is that the aim? Is it top 4 the aim this year? Would you take that?
Yeah, it's so. So at the beginning of the season, we were looking at. So we've got a few of us within the group at Beyond the 90, and we were talking about what are our ambitions, and our ambitions were very low. As in, I think one person predicted 8th, I predicted 10th, and one predicted 12th, because we were on such a bad run of form. As you guys know, turning it around is getting the momentum from negative to positive is hard. It was a short preseason. We lost Ben Chilwell. We didn't know how these new players were going to click in. But it's all just worked very, very well with the new manager, with Brendan Rodgers again. So it's gone really well. However, because of that, we're still looking at if we can do well in the Europa League and still get a top 6 position. It's about, as you guys probably know, it's consistency. If we can be in the Premier, we've proven ourselves we're a decent Premier League team. Now, if we can get into the top 6, secure Europe, then the talent will want to sign rather than, they've only been in it for a year. We don't know if they're going to fall off again. So our hope and our aims, I mean, I'd love to see it go, we're going to win it, we're going to win it. I think that would just be silly almost. So a top 6 would be great with a decent one in the Europa League, and I'm still happy.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Wiggy, but in terms of who I would like to see win the Premier League out of the contenders, after everything that happened with Project Big Picture, I would love to see an Everton or a Leicester win it again.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. My preference would be Leicester. I've got a bit of a soft spot for Leicester, especially after what happened in 2016 and the roller coaster they took us all on. You know, we're not Leicester fans, but I think the whole country was behind Leicester at that point to win it. And so I think since then, I've got a real soft spot for them and a real respect and admiration for the manager. I think he's a great manager. I think the club's well run. So yeah, Leicester for me, if any of them can. Yeah.
So the press conferences were today. I can just break down the Bielsa one for you. Basically, our £18 million Spanish centre-back was injured after 8 minutes of his return from injury. So that was a pulled hamstring, and he'll be out for another 3 to 4 weeks now. I think that was pretty much it for the team news. He only touched upon Alioski, so our sometime left back, who is in negotiations to extend his contract with the club. And there's also rumours that he may be off to a certain Turkish club, which we hate, and that we won't mention. And was there anything else, Wiki? Can you remember from the Bielsa preface? I think that's about it.
No, I think that covers it. With no new injury concerns other than what we already knew about. And so, yeah, it was quite a straightforward one. Right.
So it's looking pretty much like Melier, and then right back Dallas, centre back Ayling, and then Cooper, left back probably Alioski, and Phillips, Rafinha on the right wing, Harrison on the left wing, and in the middle it's probably Clicky and Rodrigo, and then up front Bamford. So that's Leeds United. Can you give us the breakdown of Brendan Rodgers' press conference?
So from what I've seen today, the Jamie Vardy's out injured, so which I can imagine is a huge sigh of relief for you guys. Wilfred Ndidi, our main CDM, he was injured for your last game as well. He's out with a minor hamstring injury, so I think he'll be out for another 10 days, so he won't be available. Apart from that, I think Wes Morgan is out, but he's not even been making the bench recently. So apart from that, I think we're pretty much everybody's in. After we spoke last time, Adolis, I remember that we had a lot of injuries. I'm talking out of the top players, we had I think we had 7 of our starting 11 out, and it was not a fun time. We did well, but however, we're looking at going again. I was predicting a draw because I'm really hoping we get a draw because this is not going to look good. But yeah, so just 3 main concerns. But I think for the main, so I'll make Wilfred Ndidi, who's our like sweeper CDM, comes in, takes the ball. We all love him over in Leicester, and the same with Jamie Vardy. So they're 2 big players for them. However, with Schmeichel fit and with a decent squad, I think I'm looking forward to this game still.
So last time it was Schmeichel, Fuchs, Fofana, Justin. So he played a 3-4-3 actually, and then Thomas on left, Mendy, Tielemans, Albrighton, and then front 3 of Barnes, Vardy, and Pratt.
Oh, Pratt's injured as well. Actually, he's out for 3 months with a hamstring injury. Forgot about that one. But yeah,
he caused all sorts of problems for us on the right wing. So what's your predicted lineup for this one then?
Do you know what? I'm thinking that we might go back to that 3-4-3. Of recent, we've been playing a 4-2-3-1, and we've been sitting back absorbing pressure. So you'll see Johnny Evans, you'll see Kasper Schmeichel in goal for starters. He's going to be our number 1 keeper. And then probably Johnny Evans alongside that. Probably a young French guy called Wesley Fofana we bought for, I think, about £35 million, but he's looked absolutely class since he's come into the Premier League. On the right and left, you're probably going to see Timothy Castagna. I don't know if he played against you last time. I don't think you mentioned. I think he was injured. But he's our replacement for Chilwell, costs half the price and has got twice the engine. It's insane. James Justin, again, I think he's played every single game apart from the game. I think he played every single minute since the beginning of the season, pretty much, barring about 20 minutes. He's been absolutely insane and has been doing all sorts of amazing work. Up front is the issue. Obviously, Vardy's our number one striker. We've got Kelechi Iheanacho, who's not really hit form and probably won't play. So you're looking at Ayoze Perez with probably a Turkish international called Under and Barnes, who's, again, looking on form. And then probably behind that, as you were saying, Mendy, Tielemans, and probably Maddison in that team as well. So you're looking like a 4-2-3-1, to be honest, as we've been playing recently. But whoever team we put out, because I think we're unbeaten since 2021, so it'll be a typical Leicester thing to go and lose against a team that's not doing well. It's very typical, and we're kind of half expecting that. So we're looking at a 4-2-3-1. However, with the whole team is focused around Jamie Vardy. With that out of the team, we don't have that same engine and that same vital pivot point. So we all love him around here, but Perez will probably fill in that position. And if you can bully him off the ball early enough and say, no, mine, he will lose a bit of confidence and he won't want it as much. And that's something that I think if Bielsa's watching, which, hello, if you are, and can I work for you? No, I'm kidding. That I would do. I'd make sure to bully Ayoze Perez and make sure he doesn't get any of the ball and putting some hard tackles in him, because he's a player that's, again, if he loses confidence, he will be a player that will play into your hands.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, because Marcelo is an avid listener and watcher. He firstly, he knows that the Roaring Peacock podcast comes out in your iTunes and Spotify players first, and then what he does know as well is he sets a reminder for the when the YouTube video comes out. So he does both. He kind of straddles the two arms of the Roaring Peacock, and of course he doesn't. So in that last game, Wiggy, I'll just give you some bit of background as well. So in that last game, the Leeds United lineup was Meslier in goal, Ayling on the right, Koch was the centre back. Pairing with Cooper, and if you remember, Koch was the one who gave them got the assist for the first Leicester goal. Dallas was on the left. Click sat in front of them as our CDM, which was an interesting experiment. Costa on the right wing, Pablo and Shackleton in the middle, Jack Harrison on the left, and Bamford. So it was very much a makeshift midfield in there. So we're back to full strength in that midfield. Now is the time where we've discussed everything you could possibly need to know to do a match preview prediction. So, Neel, you've been through this before, and Wiggy, is this your debut on a match preview?
No, I did the Brighton one where you jinxed us, if you remember, and I said I was going to give you shit for it, and you absolutely deserve that, because you said, and I quote, Brighton have never won in January.
I don't think I had any impact. In my defence, Your Honour, it was absolutely nothing to do with me.
I'm blaming you. That's the end of it.
Fine.
Your fault.
Fine, I'll take it. So we've gone through the presses. We've gone through the match reviews of the match review of the previous game, and we have our predicted lineup. So you've got everything you need to know to make a match preview prediction. And you've both done it before, but for any new listeners, you get 1 point for a win, draw, or loss. You get 2 extra points for predicting the correct scoreline, and you get an extra bonus point for predicting goal scorers. But to stop you from gaming the system and naming all 22 players, you get a -1 point for every incorrect goal scorer, and you can play along in the comments. So with all that in mind, Neel, what is your score prediction for the Leicester versus Leeds game?
I'm thinking it's going to be 3-1 to us. I think with we are playing okay at home at the moment, but I think with the way that Leeds play and it plays into our hands, I think we'll get a 3-1. I'm seeing Tielemans getting on the score sheet. I would say Barnes, and I'd say 2 for Barnes, 1 for one for Tielemans, and I think that overall for you guys, maybe I don't know, Alioski can get on the score sheet. I'm not too sure who your main, because it used to be Bamford that you go, oh, look out for him, but at the moment I don't know who's really firing for you guys. But so whoever you, I'll put that one as a lucky dip to whatever you guys say, and don't say Meslier because I know that's not going to happen.
I think at the minute no one is firing for us is the issue, and that's kind of the problem we've got.
Okay, Wiggy, and your score prediction, please.
I'm hoping with everything we're going to get a draw, so I'm going to go with 2-2. I think Harrison will get 1. I think Maddison will get 1 for them, and I'm going to leave it there.
Sensible. I see less and less goal scorers predicted as the weeks go by the people who are kind of looking at the rules of this, because my prediction, not for this game, but for the league table of match preview predictions, is that both sides, the Roaring Peacock and the opponents, will end up with minus points.
Brilliant. Never come to this podcast for tips.
No. Let us know in the comments what your match preview prediction is. So now let's get on with that question that Neel was trying to ask us.
What was the question again?
And I so rudely interrupted.
Yeah.
The question was, what happened to Bamford and where's he gone?
He's gone back to the fucking championship. Oh God, it's definitely worrying, and I think the 2 seasons we did have him in the championship, he went on spells where he didn't score for a while and nothing went his way, and I think it was fantastic when he hit the ground running in the Premier League and got so many on the board and got his confidence where he needed to be. And I think Bamford is a real confidence player, and if he's not scoring, obviously his confidence drops, and it's a real worry. I think he needs to score quickly, within the next game or two to start to regain some of that confidence, or not. And Bielsa isn't known for changing things. Bielsa is definitely not known for changing Bamford. But I think there's a question whether you then start to look to change things and move Rodrigo up front or bring Roberts in. I would prefer Rodrigo to go up front, but hopefully he can switch it round and nick one either Sunday or Wednesday. But would you agree, Donny? Or
it's been 9 hours since Patrick Bamford has scored from open play, so that's 9 hours of football, not 9 hours in real life, and and that is a worry, to be honest. I wouldn't like to see Rodrigo up front. I think his stats from Valencia showed that he was not firing in that position in general. And I think if you look at a game, something like the Crawley game, for example, I thought he didn't offer very much up front. I also think his shots have been quite wayward. He snaps at them. He also tends to take one touch too many. So I prefer somebody like Key Maroof, but we sold Key Maroof.
Yeah.
And now he is smashing in goals for Rangers. You might argue that he's found his level there.
That's not hard.
No.
I was going to say, Adonis, you could smash in goals for Rangers as well.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm very slow these days, to be honest with you, Neel. I don't have the legs I used to.
I'm confident you still could smash in goals for Rangers.
Potentially, yeah. What was I going to say? But Tyler Roberts has looked very, very good. To be fair to him, the last 2 times he's come on as a sub, and this is from somebody who's been very critical and very harsh of his form this season. We were talking about hoping that he went out on loan. in January. So for me to turn around my opinion that far and even suggest that he potentially deserves a chance to start, then I think that shows you how good his performances have been the last 2 times he's come on as substitute. I completely agree with Wiggy. I think Bamford is a form player. I think his confidence is completely gone. He's also not been getting the service. And I think building that new relationship with Rodrigo and Rafinha has been difficult with us moving forward. But on the other hand, Rodrigo and Rafinha are working very well together, and they're looking like that chemistry is really starting to click, and they're looking like they almost know where each other is before looking. So I don't think you can change it. I think you might change Bamford, but to answer your question in a very long way, again. I don't know. Maybe he's been having too much sex or playing too much violin or something. All his chi is gone.
Maybe he's spending too much time on a different podcast and he should concentrate on scoring goals.
You know what? Ever since the Leeds United have started the official Leeds United podcast with Bamford as their guest every week, he's gone to shit, hasn't he? So
he has. He needs to knock it on the head and start practicing scoring goals. That's all we want. That's what he paid for.
Yes, I agree. And leave the podcast up to the fans.
Yes, to the professionals.
Yes.
Hopefully he'll turn it around very soon. And I think with Roberts, I'm a fan of Roberts. I have been. I've questioned whether he's good enough for the Premier League, but undoubtedly the last couple of games, you're right. He's come on. He's been really good, and probably in them 2 games, the one player you look at and comes out of it with something, and you think, he's turned a corner. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, him and Rafinha and Meslier, of course. Okay, so we're running out of time now because people's attention spans are shortening ever quicker due to 2021 and the influx of information. So with all that in mind, can I have your final thoughts, please, gentlemen? And we'll start off with you, Wiggy.
I think it's going to be a really tough one on Sunday. I'm hoping for a draw, and if we get a point out of it, I'll be absolutely ecstatic.
Same here. Neel?
I'm hoping for a win, but with Leicester, anything's possible. From losing 5-0 to winning 5-0. It's a complete roll of the dice at the moment. But yeah, just thanks for having me on, and I'm hoping that we can get the win for this one. So yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, Neel. And if you'd like to, if you're a Leicester fan and you have not heard of Neel's podcast or YouTube channel before, you can follow them at Beyond the 90. Is that correct?
Yep, Beyond the 90 LCFC, but Beyond the 90 works as well.
Excellent. And if you are new to us, hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube or in your podcast player. We'll be back very shortly with a match review. Hopefully not another angry one or another sad one. That would be nice, wouldn't it, Wiggy? Thank you very much for... Fantastic, yes. So thank you very much for joining us. It's a very goodbye from me. I am Adonis, and you can catch me at The Adelites on Twitter. And it's a very goodbye from Wiggy.
Goodbye, have a good one.
And it's a very goodbye from Neel.
See you later.
Come on, Leeds!
Come on!
Most of our stats come from LUFC Stats or LUFC Data on Twitter. You should probably give them a follow, as they're more interesting than us. A very special thanks to Adam Warner, Barney Stuart Cook, Ewan and Howard Metcalf, Josh Pearson, Laura, Leon and Rob, The Light Show, and all our family and friends.